This is a 2014 Audi Q7 TDI. This car was one of the 11 million Volkswagen Group diesel vehicles that were part of their catastrophic Dieselgate scandal. Today, let's find out if it's worth driving a tainted luxury diesel SUV. So I just rented this 2014 Audi Q7 on Turo. Now, if you don't know what Turo is, it's like Airbnb for cars. It's awesome. So I wanted something really nice to cruise around here on my trip to scenic New England while I'm visiting friends and family. And this Q7 S-Line TDI really fits the bill. I decided to upgrade to Turo and rent this luxurious soccer dad machine. Be sure to use my Turo referral code in the description below so you can get $25 off your first Turo rental. The Q7 is Audi's 7-seat crossover SUV, first released way back in 2005, refreshed in 2010, and replaced with a new version in 2016. So who is the Q7 for? Moms and dads that wouldn't be caught dead driving a lowly Ford Explorer or a humble Toyota Highlander, even though they offer the same level of utility. A Q7 is for someone that wants to cart their kids around in style, opulence, and leather-wrapped splendor. To some, this generation Q7 looks a bit bulbous and crustacean-like, but I actually quite like it. This S-Line edition sports optional 21-inch 5-segment titanium finished wheels and aggressive fender arches, giving it a pretty sophisticated look. On the front, you get LED and xenon lighting. You also get this high-tech looking strip of LEDs for the turn signals. I guess maybe not so high-tech looking in 2018, but in 2014, that was pretty rad. The grille is large, but nowhere near as over-elaborate and gargantuan as some current model vehicles. I'm looking at you, Toyota Avalon. The 2014 Q7 was expensive when it came out. This thing started at around $49,000. And after you add trim levels and options, you could build this thing up to almost 80 grand. This S-Line, when piled on with options, came in at nearly $73,000. This Q7 has the optional adaptive air suspension, which raises or lowers the vehicle depending on driver conditions or user settings. Let's check it out. Since this Q7 has the TDI diesel engine and the optional tow package, this vehicle can tow 6,600 pounds. That's pretty impressive. With the third row seats up, there isn't a lot of cargo space compared to competitors from 2014. Fold the seats down and now you've got loads of room. With all the seats folded down, you get almost 73 cubic feet of cargo space, which is on par with other vehicles of its class. It also has this handy feature that allows you to lower the rear air suspension, so if you've got a large or heavy item to load up into the Q7, this makes it a little bit easier. All right, it's cold out here. Let's hop inside this vehicle. I'm probably gonna turn the heated seats on while I'm in here too. This Q7 interior is a very pleasant place to be. Nice fit and finish. Really comfortable seats. The interior is just a touch dated by today's standards, but not by much. We've got the usual suspects like power tilt and telescopic steering column, 12-way power seats, and loads of important looking buttons and switches, half of which I have no idea what they do. I will say that I was immediately confused by the 4-way climate control. I don't feel like I'm that dumb, but I couldn't figure out how to sync the 4 zones. I actually had to look this up online. Turns out it was pretty simple. All you had to do is press and hold this button, but it's not labeled and I could not figure it out. I've had the car for a week and I still haven't gotten used to the controls for Audi's infotainment system. It's a bit counterintuitive. Turning the dial clockwise scrolls up, not down. It's just a weird idiosyncrasy that I'm not sure I'll ever get used to. It just feels backwards to me. Overall though, the Q7 is a lovely place to be, especially on long drives. The cabin is very elegant and nice and quiet. All right, let's hop in the back. One really nice feature of the Q7 is this huge panoramic sunroof. It makes this really dark interior feel a whole lot more airy. The back seats are pretty comfortable too. They recline, you get decent leg room, and of course the other 2 zones of the 4-zone climate control. There's even built-in heated seats in the back. Oh, and built-in blinds. All right, I'm gonna go brave the 3rd row. If I can't make it out, somebody please send help. Alrighty, can I make it? It's not too bad. So yeah, access to the 3rd row is easy enough, but if you needed regular use of these seats, seems like this might be a little bit kind of a hassle. Probably better off with a minivan, but if you needed to cart some people around every once in a while, this would be totally fine. Maybe except for me. Can't really fit my knees, but I can cut off my legs, I guess. Let me out, please. Let me out. Oh, come on, come on. There we go. Despite its size and its nearly 6,000 pound curb weight, the Q7 is surprisingly nimble on back roads. It's a perfectly capable machine if you happen to have any winding back roads on your way to soccer practice. To be clear, the Q7 doesn't feel sporty, but it does have some sporting qualities, I guess. If a Porsche Cayenne is too harsh and an Escalade is far too numb, the Q7's just about right. Steering is precise and mostly effortless. It really makes the immense size and heft of this vehicle disappear into the road. All Q7s come with Audi's Quattro all-wheel drive system, which provides exceptional grip in just about any situation. It's sure-footed, easy to drive, and inspires confidence. We could talk about off-roading, but nobody that owns a Q7's taking this thing off-road, right? The closest anybody might come is a gravel road. The TDI powertrain in this car really is fantastic. Acceleration is brisk, 0 to 60 in about 8 seconds. The gobs of torque on tap, 406 foot-pounds to be exact, pull this Q7 from a stop with great fervor. Fuel economy is pretty good for a nearly 6,000 pound vehicle. I've averaged about 24 miles per gallon in the week that I've had this thing. Now, let's get back to the smog-causing elephant in the room. Does it make sense to drive a diesel that had software on it that allowed it to cheat on federal emissions tests? Is this Q7 just another gross polluter in a fleet of toxic Volkswagen Group vehicles? Let's make a quick stop at the Mount Tom power plant in Holyoke, Massachusetts. It was the last coal-fired power plant in western Massachusetts before it closed down in 2014, the same year that this smog-wielding, emissions-cheating Q7 was produced. This location is the perfect place to talk about pollution. This former coal-fired power plant behind me first opened in 1960. As natural gas became more cost-effective, it no longer became profitable to run this plant, and it closed up shop in 2014. Today, they're working to convert the site to solar. The Volkswagen Group Dieselgate scandal, which includes this Audi model, was based around their secret emissions defeat device, which activated emissions controls only during testing, allowing them to cheat on federal emissions tests. Unbeknownst to hundreds of thousands of TDI owners, their cars were spewing far more nitrogen oxides than advertised. The 3.0 in the Q7 wasn't quite that bad, but it still came under fire. Volkswagen's cheat violated the EPA's Clean Air Act and spanned 590,000 vehicles in the US alone. Some Volkswagen Group vehicles could not be repaired and were bought back. Others, like this Q7 here, received software upgrades and parts that brought it back into compliance. And good news, many tests show that the performance and fuel economy were not negatively affected. This Q7 TDI is a great choice for high-end families that want a luxurious, capable, and fuel-efficient machine. Fuel-efficient for this size vehicle. But as this power plant shows, we're moving away from burning dinosaurs. Hybrid and electric vehicles are surging in popularity. How much longer before we see a fully electric Q7? 5 years? 10 years? Never? What do you think? Would you drive this Q7 diesel? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. I'll have another video in a couple weeks. See you later.